Hello guys, welcome back to XML Gaming, and this is another video. This is the one-man Gurkha army, the stand of Sgt Pun in September 2010. So I was actually lucky enough to meet this guy and do a couple of interviews with him. Not me interviewing him, but interviews with him down at Buckingham Palace, because he was on the same honours and awards list that I was on, so we managed to get our medals together and we did a few interviews. He got the second highest award in the British military, and I got the third highest gallantry award. So we'll jump straight in, and I've heard the story straight from his mouth, so it'll be interesting to see if the official line sort of differs any from the his personal sort of testimony that he told me. So we'll jump in and we'll see how it differs, if it differs in any way. So again, another video from Liveth Forevermore, absolutely amazing channel. Head over there and give that channel a sub if you enjoy the content and the things that they do. So firstly, he was an acting sergeant at the time, so his substantive rank was a corporal, but he was an acting sergeant at the time of this incident.
On the 17th of September 2010, a platoon from the 1st Battalion, the Royal Gurkha Rifles, was stationed at two patrol bases near the village of Rahim Kalay in the north of Helmand Province. At some point during the day, the bulk of the platoon departed the bases to secure a key road to the east, with two small detachments remaining behind to garrison the outposts. Tasked with holding the southernmost patrol base were four Gurkhas, among them Sgt Sgt Pun, who, in the evening of the 17th, was on sentry duty on the roof of a two-storey compound that was at the centre of the base. Manning his post for several hours, Sgt Pun soon began to hear some noises materialising from the other side of the main gate, and, as he later recalled, I thought at first maybe it was a cow, but my suspicion soon built up, and I saw two Taliban digging to lay down an IED in front of our gate. Immediately, the sergeant called out for the two men to identify themselves, but instead of receiving a verbal response, bullets and RPGs.
So just to give a little bit of backstory,
as a significantly larger
there had been a lot of snowstorms for a couple of days surrounding his PB. So he believes, or they believe, for the couple of days beforehand, the Taliban had been setting up this attack. They'd been digging IEDs and preparing sort of positions during these sandstorms. And this first patrol that is mentioned earlier in the video was the first patrol after the sandstorms had cleared, and they were going out to basically sort of recontrol the area once the sandstorms had cleared, because obviously with those sandstorms there's a couple of days there where there hasn't been any ISAF troops on the ground, and this is why they'd done that patrol, and this is why he believes that the Taliban were able to get so close, and that was because basically the cover of the sandstorms.
Realising the outpost was under attack, Sgt Pun grabbed a nearby radio and informed his platoon commander of the unfolding situation, before turning his attention onto the enemy. As soon as I knew they were Taliban, I thought I was going to die, but as soon as I started firing, that feeling went away. I knew I had to do something before they killed me and my three comrades. I thought, before they kill me, I have to kill some of them. Picking up his SAAT, the Gurkha fired off a rifle grenade at the attacking enemy, prior to detaching a nearby general-purpose machine gun from its tripod and returning fire on the advancing Taliban fighters, who were moving forward from three directions. Within minutes, however, he had spent all his machine gun ammunition, and so resorted to using a mix of grenades to disrupt the attack, including 6 phosphorus, 6 fragmentation, and 4 rifle grenades. Once these two had become expended, he picked up his SAAT again and, moving from position to position, he continued to engage the enemy, some of whom managed to break through his line of sight and reach the compound. Looking for a way to get onto the roof, some of the insurgents began scaling up the building's mud walls, with one fighter reaching the top first and proceeding to rush the Gurkha. Training his SAAT onto the enemy fighter, Sgt Pun shot and killed the insurgent, seconds before experiencing a weapon malfunction just as another Taliban fighter appeared on the roof. Ditching his rifle,
And those
the
are
sergeant
heavy.
grabbed the
GPMG
nearby
tripods are
GPMG
heavy
tripod and held
chunks
it
of
at the
steel.
second insurgent,
So I actually
knocking
asked him
unconscious.
where was his cookery, and he'd left it on his bed in the tent, which is understandable. But I said to him, I bet you won't be doing that again. So yeah, he'd left his actual cookery on the bed.
Moments after, Sergeant Pun heard several more of the enemy attempting to climb up unconscious. Moments after, Sergeant Pun heard several more of the enemy attempting to climb up to the roof, who he pushed back by dropping a sandbag onto one and forcing the others to retreat when a claymore mine detonated. Eventually, after 17 minutes of heavy fighting, the enemy attack had collapsed and what was left of the Taliban force withdrew back in the direction they had come from. A short while later, British reinforcements arrived at the patrol base to strengthen its defences, where they found an exhausted Sergeant Diprasad Pun still on the roof. Sergeant Pun later stated, "I thought there might have been around 20 to 30 Taliban
one against
fighters
15, one
involved
against
in the
30.
attack, but later locals told me it was probably around 15. I know I'm very lucky to be alive. I didn't think the attack would ever end, and I nearly collapsed when it was over. I did what I was trained to do. There wasn't any choice but to fight."
So from what you told me, because that looks like quite a small number for GPMG rounds, 250 rounds. Usually with Sanga would probably have about a minimum of 800. But from what you told me, it was the GPMG that failed, and that's why he then used the tripod. He said he tried. So the Taliban that climbed up onto the Sanga tried to use a sandbag, but because the sandbags have been out for years, they've been sat in the sun, it broke apart, and that's when he picked up the GPMG tripod and hit the Taliban with that. He said the Taliban then fell off the Sanga, and he posted a grenade down after that Taliban. So he received the CGC, whereas I received the QGM. So yeah, really, really nice guy. We met. Well, I met him originally a couple of months before the investiture ceremony, which is the ceremony where people go down and receive their honours and awards. And I met him a couple of months before that, and we were all in London just doing press stuff, press releases, talking to papers and so on. And I met him down there, and we had a drink. He was telling us his story. So yeah, really, really nice guy, and absolutely insane what he did. So guys, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope my little insight from speaking to him has added a little bit of extra sort of information to the video. Like I said, none of this differs too far from what he told us, so I'm guessing the official story was quite accurate. Whereas mine, if I look through Google, for example, of the sort of write-ups and stories of why I got my medal, they are fucking, some of them are outlandish. So yeah, absolutely brilliant guy. So thank you for watching, guys, and as always, I know it's only a short one, but I'll catch you all later.